Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@courtfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@courtfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are. Court FM. Let the music play. The Bigger Picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@courtfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Eli, Eli, you can hear me? Stella, can you hear me? I don't think Eli can read me at all, if anything. I only had the advert, Eli. Can't hear you at all. If you can hear me, please give me 100%. Okay. So I think welcome to the Mizani 254 space, and welcome everybody. We're sorry that we started late, but for reasons beyond us, we've had to do this, and we sincerely apologize for the delay. Again, as always, this is a home of conversations where we discuss issues that are important in terms of our governance, politics, and matters affecting Kenyans and policy issues. And I'd like to welcome everybody at this time as we discuss and looking at the NTSA Instant Fines Management System, something that has gone live, but we need to look at it from the perspective of what does it mean to us, what is it about, where is it stemming up from, and how we can handle it. So it's an interesting conversation when you think about it in terms of what NTSA is trying to do. Um, there are other questions that probably we need to look at and understand, because I think this country for some time, we are very good at creating policy, but not really good at implementing it. And I think, the juiciness of anything is in the eating, and you want to see how it's implemented. So it's a very good one, something that probably is trying to, sort out small, or what you call minor offenses or traffic offenses. But then, what does it mean? What is it about? And would it be able to effectively serve the purpose for which it's intended? I don't know, Eli, if you can hear me. For your immediate remarks, if you'd like to say something about that. Eli, I don't know if you can hear me at all. I can't hear if you're speaking. You're speaking on mute. I think we've been throttled or something, or we're having a technical problem. So, Eli, I don't know how we proceed from here unless we're able to fix the technical problem. I'm afraid I can't hear you at all. I don't know, Stella, can you hear Eli?
The bigger picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli.
I can hear the advert, Eli.
Email marketing@cotfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Once again, Obes, just confirm you can hear me. We are loud and clear and ready to proceed from your end.
No, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Apologies, and that means we've been able to sort out all the technicalities you're having. Also, good evening once again. Welcome to Mizani 254. My name is Likian Eli. Because we are out of time, we simply go into the conversation of the night in the bigger picture. And of course, Obed, you talk about issues of policy and how they affect you and I. And generally speaking, it also affects you as a listener and a viewer. And therefore, we would love to invite you to this talk. Let's just try and digest and understand where is all this coming from. Probably for you it's new, probably it comes at a shocker, but then we'll be able to read out the statement that was released, and then we can be able to proceed with the talk. So Obed, back to you.
I hope that you're going to read the statement, but a cursory look at that statement was let me just try and retrace it because I think I saw it somewhere. I think it's important that we understand what they're trying to say, but my questions are many in relation to what might happen, who'd want it to work, and who might not want it to work. So give me a minute as I try to trace it. So yeah, so there's a public notice that's been given by the Director General for NTSA, and it says its instant fines management system goes live. The National Transport and Safety Authority wishes to inform the public that the instant fines traffic management system is now live. The system will automatically issue traffic violation notifications via SMS to motorists where applicable. This process is fully automated and operates without human intervention, ensuring greater transparency, efficiency, and accountability in traffic enforcement. All fines issued through the system can be paid through the branch network of KCB Group within 7 days. Failure to settle the fine due within 7-day period will result in the amount due earning interest. In addition, the vehicle or the driver with pending fine will not be able to transact on NTSA service platforms until the fine is settled. Motorists are advised to observe all traffic regulations and respond promptly to any official notifications received. Further details will be communicated through the official government channels. That's the Director General's message. So, Eli, listening to this, your reading and understanding of it, I have questions, first of all. They say it's automated, but then almost contradict themselves in the same statement, because when you tell me the system will automatically issue traffic violation notifications via SMS to motorists, and it operates without human intervention. We know too well, for instance, right now, there has been a struggle in this country with renewal for the digital licenses. We've had situations.
I hear you, Obed, in terms of the renewal aspect and the digital licenses, but when I look at the issue of the fine system, I think there was also last time we had the team from NTSA. They were able to discuss in terms of they were doing trials to see how the system works. And in fact, I remember them enumerating areas such as the Red Hill Road as you head into Geshia, that area in Gigiri. And in their trial period, they were actually able to find people instantly, and drivers or traffic offenders, in this case, who are motorists, were receiving the notifications on their SMS. I don't know why you feel that it has not worked in the past, especially with DLs, because I know that's a totally different conversation altogether. But then again, it's the same team that runs all this umbrella. Why do you think it's not going to work, or why do you have speculations about it in the first place?
It's not a speculation, Eli, and I think I didn't get to finish the point. The argument I have is the trial has been done. Probably a few messages have been sent to people and been told, you've done a traffic offense and this is what it is. Maybe the pilot phase was targeted at particular people. But the reason why I'm alluding to the car registration and renewal of licenses, you expect that a government that has not been able to sort out that simple problem of driver's licenses to ensure that they can do instant fines. I'm not so sure that works. And secondly, there is another customer on the road that they have not factored in. The traffic police, and I say this without flinching, that the traffic police are part of the problem. They're not going to probably allow it to happen, because what the NTSA are trying to do is to remove the human element from it. I promise you, I don't know how matatus will work in the first place. Will they observe the traffic lights, traffic rules? I don't know. And secondly, part of the reason why maybe matatus behave the way they do is because the police are involved. Because once somebody gives them money or whatever bribe they have given in the morning, then they can do whatever they want. So trying to remove the human element of it. And the other thing is, are the details with the NTSA about the ownership of the vehicles up to date? And can they confirm that that's the case? Because I do believe that the system, especially with government, updates are a bit of a problem. And that's why I'm concerned that even when we want to implement it, it won't be straightforward or easy as it should be. And we have seen with the other things that the government does, how badly they do with them. And I don't want to assume that it's going to be negative, but um, the record has it that they don't do a very good job of it. Updates are not very good. We can't even renew licenses in good time. God knows what we expect and how the fines are going to be enforced, unless you want the police to be able to also find another way around it, to tell you, we can figure it out, give us something, and then that's we sort of, because that's what tends to happen in Kenya more often than not.
Obens, maybe let's try and backtrack this in terms of just trying to put this into perspective, especially for the benefit of those of you who are viewing and listening to this conversation. You might be wondering what we're talking about. We are talking about the issue that the NTSA made a publication about the instant fines management system, and what it means is, if you are a driver or a motorist and you commit a traffic offense while driving, or in your commuting period, you will receive an instant notification on your SMS about the car you're driving, the kind of traffic infraction you committed, of course, the model of the car you are driving, at what time and what hour, and then you're obliged within 7 days to pay up for this fine. If you don't, then there are other consequences that come with it. Probably just to also, try and make all of us be on the same page. This is really a minor offense rules in terms of how people will look at it. But of course, there are some specific categories of traffic infractions that can be looked from simple to complex or dire kind of offenses. It is also a subsidiary legislation to the Traffic Act and was done in 2016. But the implementation aspect of it has been a bigger, delay, dragging, because of course, there are a lot of issues of legislation that have to be put in place and exercised to enact and make this come into play. Again, for the benefit of those of you who haven't been on this platform in the past, we did have NTSA coming here and trying to illustrate to us how this system was going to work. And true to their word, they actually were able to publish today a public notice, which again, I'm going to just read through in order for you to be able to follow. The National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, wishes to inform the public that the Instant Fines Traffic Management System is now live. The system will automatically issue violation notifications via SMS to motorists where applicable. This process is fully automated and operates without human intervention, ensuring greater transparency, efficiency, and accountability in traffic enforcement. All fines issued through the system can be paid through the branch network of KCB Group within 7 days. Now, I think when you read through that, I mean, to some extent, I totally try to understand where the NTSA is coming from. We've been talking about automation when it comes to collection of taxes. We've talked about automation when it comes to collection of or payment of licenses, for that matter. We've talked about automation when it comes to some very minor and complex specific services that are being issued, and you as a Kenyan has to pay for them. And to this extent, I am okay on this big step that NTSA is taking. However, then, there's the aspect of human interaction with the system. And then the specific choice of which bank to bank with. Obeds.
The bank, currently government is banking with KCB. I think, or most of the government salaries are probably paid through KCB. I could be wrong, but I stand guided on that. Though, Eli, my issue is not whether it's a good idea. It's a very wonderful idea if we had a functional system. And here's an example. We've had a problem, Eli, and I like where they say fines will be done automatically via texts where applicable. And the question I ask then, where it is not possible, how do they enforce it? Because the idea would be, we don't have to interact with you. We know that you've done a traffic offense. You probably, didn't stop at the lights. So what it's supposed to do is automatically take your details, the car plates, and send you a text, and you get punished for what you have done. I want to see that enforceability, that element of it, because I'm also sure you've had situations in like where people have been killed in a place where there's full glare of the cameras, supposedly, but we can't find evidence.
Yeah.
So unless it's working and has been made not to work, I have concerns around implementation. However, as we say, the offenses, the categories of subsidiary legislation that is supporting from the overarching law, which is the Traffic Act, Cap 43. And that helps because the legislation or the subsidiary legislation actually stands on the basis of that. The issue here is the highest fine from what I'm seeing should be about 10,000. That's if you're driving without driving license. And on road with cars should be about 5,000 or something.
Yeah.
So some of these things, yes, make a lot of sense. And you want to kill the human interaction. What are the determinants? Who is responsible for ensuring that this is implemented? Is it the police or the NTSA are going to effect it by themselves?
Yep.
And if that be the case, then how do you ensure that this conflict of interest, and this I'm sounding like I don't like it, but there's a conflict of interest, Eli. Government wants to collect fines from people who are offending or, breaking traffic rules. The police are supposedly supposed to help government, to ensure that traffic rules and whatever is traffic supposed to be done properly. How do you ensure that there's no conflict of interest between the police and NTSA trying to do its job? Because I think there's a challenge there for me as well.
You see, Obeds, when it comes to road accidents, for example, it's a major issue in our country. As of this year, I'm just trying to look some data here. As of 2025, 5,000 deaths were reported through road-related incidences, right? And I think by January, it was almost clicking 500, if I'm not wrong. I'll just have to go through the data once again. And recently, President Ruto was quoted to have given an, instruction to see to it that we automate the system. And I'm just gonna, quote the star here, which says, Kenya is rolling out a broad set of measures to cap road accidents following a National Council on the Administration of Justice report launched on March 2nd, 2026. We might just want to grab that report. The report laid bare rising fatalities and systemic weakness in road safety. President William Ruto has directed the installation of smart traffic cameras in major towns within 30 days to support instant fines and automated enforcement aimed at reducing corruption and strengthening compliance with traffic laws. The reform also includes introducing a demerit point system for driving licenses and moving some minor traffic offenses from the courts to administrative handling to ease congestion in the justice system and deter repeat offenders. And for me, I think we have delayed this course. It's something that we should have done donkey years ago. The only thing I have a problem with is the swiftness it seems to be taking, and not really because we haven't heard about it, Obeds. Again, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look at this. You talk about the infrastructure coming up, probably. You need cameras, part of what was said. You're going to implement this, it's going live, but the infrastructure to support it is not there. The other problem is, Eli, our roads are horrible. The most recent experience is the floods that we had in Nairobi. It's a major problem. And so that it doesn't look like I'm trying to deviate from the actual point is,
Yeah.
the problem with the government, and mostly in this country,
Yeah.
is we tend to rush things. We put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
I would have thought we create the infrastructure that would support that which you want to do. Then it'll be easy, Eli. You don't need to have the police on the road. Curb corruption, that's what you're trying to say.
Yep.
How do you do that? There's no policeman to bribe. You've made a mistake, you sent something on email or on text, and it's your business. You're told within a certain period of time you need to have this paid for.
Yep.
And the element of trying to remove this from the courts and take it, the element of having people go to court over minor offenses is unnecessary. And that makes sense because it delays and wastes people's times. Because like if you're caught in the morning or whatever time you made a mistake, you're in a rush to go to work, it's easy. I'm supposed to pay a fine of how much? This is the amount. I go to work, I'll pay the fine within the period required. So you don't need anything. The police business is to ensure that you've been informed. What's your offense? If the need be. But then the reality is, Eli, unfortunately, the structure to be able to support that which they want to implement is not there. And that being the case, then, it's an exercise in futility.
Why do you think the structure is not there, Obed? Because, for them to be able to roll it out in the first place, and there are people who have actually reported they have received fines on this super highway. That is, a lot of us talk about the Kibaki superhighway. Why do you think the systems are not sufficient enough to support this? Because when I'm driving from Nairobi, Kakamega, because that's my common route when I'm home, I tend to meet cameras that are hiding. Hidden cameras somewhere. Somebody just pops out and say, "Hey, ulikuwa unapita speed." What makes you think that we don't have the systems?
Those are specific areas and it's handheld cameras. My argument, Eli, if that's the case, it's self-defeating. Firstly, the government is saying it wants to remove the human element. That's what I think I have read from that statement. Then I don't think there is enough of what they are trying to say in terms of cameras or digital setup to be able to support that. And I could be wrong. Maybe I have not done enough research. But there is evidence that in this country, that tends to be a problem.
Yep.
What we are good at is trying to look like we're implementing something. And I'm not pouring cold water on a very noble idea.
Yep.
It's something that anybody who loves and wants to see progress would be so proud of, because if the police are not going to be there to haggle you for 5,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings or 100 shillings, your offense is this and you know what to pay, that will be easy.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, as I said, there will be a conflict of interest. And the people who will be stopping on the road and guiding the people would end up, remember, Eli, even before that, NTSA would probably one weekend, remember during Uhuru's time, there were NTSA vehicles everywhere. What happened to that?
There was a legality challenge.
What became of it? Because the whole idea was to punish, petty offenders, small infractions on traffic and sort it out.
Yeah.
It became a problem. And why did it not continue? Because there were tendering issues around it. There were issues about one person getting all the money. And that's the same question we're asking. We're already complaining about our e-citizen or e-government platform, which is already facing challenges. John Buddy set up another system to try and curb corruption. It's having issues. So I think there's pretty much enough evidence to show that government is not very good in implementing anything technology, or it is probably intentionally sabotaged so that it does not work.
Let's talk about the intentional sabotage, because I think for me that's where the bone of contention is. When we do have what we'll say favorable systems that will make sure that all of us are equal before the law. I don't know how that practical is either way. But then, if I am looking at a very functional system that completely eliminates human interference, I'm actually, to some extent, persuaded to think the way you are thinking when you look at matters, and this is maybe far-fetched, when you look at issues such as the land issues in our country. You go to the Register of Lands, you notice person A and B, both of them have the legal title according to the government books. That is the black book and the green book. You know how these things happen and work. And then you also find somebody who has at NTSA registration of a car, same car plate with different owners. And one owns a car that is registered under a motorbike. The other one owns a car that is registered under a Prado. The other one is the other one that makes people jump all the way from, is it Meru or Embu? By the time you're arriving in Nairobi, yes, that one. I didn't want to mention it because wajalipia advert, but ni sawa. Anyway, on a serious note though, that's where I think I have an issue that we might, of course, maybe this is water under the bridge, but you see, anytime systems are introduced, they are subject to improvement and subject to, interaction, so that we are able to either, if we have something in between that will hinder this system from being effective, then it's able to be dealt with. But then, if I engage you further, Obeds, let's for example look at it objectively, because that's what we're doing. If this system was to be effective to address from the petty infractions to the major infractions, what for you will be the must-have for it to be effective? Probably, and maybe we are deliberating which has been put into place, but then again, from the public understanding, this is something we might just want to discuss. Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to say this with confidence. I don't think government database is up to date. I don't think all the people who own cars, and an example you've given is when you have same registration, two different people. It doesn't make sense. How do you end up in a scenario that a government that is supposed to be informed, has all your data, gives you that wrong information? There's a problem for me there. And the second thing is, for it to work, the ecosystem that supports that approach has to be created. The digital cameras that you talk about, they have to be in place, and they have to be functional, and there has to be a personnel that takes care of it and ensures that the details that support that are up to scratch. And that, so that you don't end up punishing the wrong people. Because the other thing is, transfer of vehicles. A good number of people haven't probably transferred. Somebody's probably the third owner, and the logbook is in the name of the first owner. So,
but whose fault is that, Obed?
Sorry,
whose fault is that? You can't fault that on the NTSA, because
hear me out. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it means the information that they have is not correct.
But I think one thing I must also maybe bring to our attention is the fact that there are important timelines that one will look at. For example, number one, there's the issue of who was driving that car at that specific point. So you, as the car owner, it is your responsibility to know who has your car. For example, we have couples who share the car. Maybe one is dropping the other one at work, and the other one has to be picked after work. That happens. But by the time you are leaving, for example, Stella here with her duet decided to go and make a wrong turn in the capital, in the CBD, where that turn when you are on which street is this again? Is it? No, it's not Tomboya. It's the other one. What is it?
Koinange.
No, Koinange. What? Stella cannot go to Koinange. I know her status. But on a serious note, though, when you're driving, I think it's Tomboya, if not Tomboya, just adjacent to the former. It was, what bank was it again? Standard Bank. Just years back, And the thing here is, you cannot make a turn there. So at the time of the drive, Moi Avenue should be, I believe it's Moi Avenue. There's a turn there, you can't make a right turn. So you have to go left and then rotate from the other side. So that in itself, it is the onus of the registered car owner to actually know who was driving their car at what particular point. And for me, I think that is also very important, because then it creates a sense of responsibility, not just to the car owner, but also to the driver who is driving. Because now you cannot, you know what I like, Obed? Assuming you tell a friend, mimi nachukua gari yako naenda tu hapa Kirinyaga Road. And then I receive a text message, hii gari benye tunaongea saizi iko wapi? Imepita Weybridge na huko iko imebeba mizigo ya Enruiro. It's headed to Thika. I think it's a win-win situation, Obits. And that in itself, it creates discipline to car owners and drivers.
That's right. There's a sense of you're able to, if need be, to track your car. But Eli, once you give someone your car, if somebody borrows it or it's on hire, you have a tracking system as well, if you want it. So you don't need the government to be able to help you to do that. But the question of somebody being dishonest about the whereabouts of your car, if you don't have a system to track it, that would help.
But then I think my argument was linked to the issue of how do you tell this car is to one person and you haven't transferred the official handling of the car. Yeah.
And it might sound very, very inane to say that. But as a matter of fact, Eli, I think there's a major problem. And that's why I'm talking about the records and the data that the government has. Is it up to date? And for fear of sounding repetitive, have we created that structure and the ecosystem that supports this?
Yeah.
I don't think we are there yet. And Eli, digitization has been a buzzword for government.
Yeah.
Every time we're talking about creating technology, but every time we end up not having anything closer to technology, we end up in the same space. If MIS was supposed to solve a problem, but probably we ended up having somebody make money off it, and it's not really necessarily doing the job.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that procurement in government is still a problem.
Yeah.
So we're talking about instant fines. I don't know how it's going to work. It is possible. The idea in itself, the development, and the thought process through it probably is a very good idea, because I know Kenyans are not bereft of ideas.
Yeah.
There are very many good ideas around people. But the problem has always been, as I said again, Eli, it's about implementation. How does this work eventually? Do we just want to have it as a wishful thing that we put it on policy, it gathers dust in the shelves?
Yeah.
Or we say, like, you had like Sakaja yesterday was being interviewed, he said, there's a master plan we had, but as we speak, it has not been implemented properly. That's the problem I have with our country. We speak eloquently in imagination. We write very good papers, but we cannot implement even a quarter of it. Why? Because half the time the money required, or somebody has ticked a KPI. And an example is probably where I've worked before, where we need to open a new route, like after every 3 months. There was an expansion plan that was there, which backfired. And so for me, history is littered with a lot of failed projects within government. And whether it's digital or whether it's any plan, there is no proper goodwill and genuine demand or desire for implementation. But I can tell you, the idea of instant fines management system is a very noble idea. My concerns will be around the implementation. I see Western has come to the conversation. I wouldn't like to ask him any particular question unless you have a question for him, like a specific. I'd like to allow him to probably make his views or his views known about the NTSA instant fines management system.
Awesome. We'll be having Western in a few, and for all of you who are joining in, thank you very much for joining the bigger picture conversation. Today we just want to understand you as a motorist or possibly a user of public transport system. Do you feel like the NTSA instant fines management system is actually a solution to most of the issues we've had as a country when it comes to traffic offenses? Give us your suggestions and, of course, your comments in the chat section. Remember not to forget the hashtag, the bigger picture. In the meantime,
Court FM, Let the music play. The bigger picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@courtfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Indeed, and welcome back to the bigger picture. We have Weston, as always. Great to have you here. Good evening, sir. And Obed's told me not to ask your question, so welcome to the floor, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Eli and Obet and everyone. Look, you see, we've talked about technology before, I suppose. Technology relies on human agency. I think most of Kenya's policymakers don't understand that. That's why they're fixated to the technology. If you're corrupt, the system you come up with will be corrupt because it doesn't have its own agency. If you are racist, the technology you come up with will be racist. It can be programmed to discriminate against people. And then you argue that it's the system that rejected you. No, the system does not reject anyone. You make the system to reject someone. You infuse in the system racism, prejudice, and bigotry. You infuse in the system in technology corruption. The only challenge with doing things manually is that it's slower. But it doesn't mean things that are done manually are inefficient. No, it's just that it's slow. But it doesn't mean when you do stuff, keep records manually, you're inefficient. I think they think like that. Or that you're corrupt because you're doing things manually. No. It's a question of time. So technology only saves on time, but it doesn't guarantee efficiency. It doesn't guarantee a corruption-free ecosystem. I think we don't appreciate that well enough. So somebody tells you, okay, you can apply for renewal of your driver's license online. And then you think you've done that, you paid, you've sent your passport size photo and everything. Now you go, these people tell you, no, you know what, we didn't process this particular ID because we're waiting for you to come and take your passport size photo. Like, what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about an electronic system, eliminating the need for people to come physically to sit at some stool and have their images taken. They're still doing those things. It's so like, what are you doing? Look, technology in terms of transportation will be super efficient if the infrastructure is up to date.
Correct.
Let me ask you a question. If you're traveling from Nairobi to Eldoret or Kisumu or Mombasa or Kakamega, what is the speed limit on that road? What is the speed limit? At what point are you expected to drive at 60? What stretch of the road are you expected to drive at 80? What stretch of the road are you expected to drive at 120? Because the cameras must be programmed as such that this is a 60 kilometer per hour zone. You can't go beyond that, so you'll be fined. You are entering an 80 kilometer per hour zone. You exceed, you will be fined. Here you can only do 120 at the most. If you exceed, you're fined. Now, who has calibrated that road? Who has calibrated it like that?
But they do.
Where?
But Weston, I think I've drove on most Kenyan roads, and we do have the speed limits. Whatever you call them, there's the speed limit indicators on where you can drive at what speed. A good example is if you're, for example, on Thika Road, there's a stretch you can only drive up to 110. There's a stretch you're supposed to drive for 50. Most of the town centers, when you're approaching town centers in Kenya, you'll notice all of them have been labeled 50 until you exit the town center, and then you can be able to pick up the speed. But maybe let me just understand where you're coming from with the calibration aspect.
So these cameras will be attached close to the town centers, entry and exit. Then if that's the case, then it defeats the purpose. Because from Nairobi to Nakuru, your speed is dictated to by the volume of traffic on the road, nothing else. That is it. You could sleep on that road. And people do sleep on the road. We see that time and again. So there's nothing like you can dictate at what speed you will move. Is there volume on the road? You'll go as per the volume on the road. But where there are speeds installed on the road, they are called freeways. They are freeways. There will be no jam on the road. There is a freeway. Like you can go at 180 non-stop for 200 kilometers, for 300 kilometers, non-stop at 120. That's the speed limit. That's a freeway, an intercity highway. There's nothing will stop you. Nothing like a car on the road, nothing. You can cruise at that speed. So when they tell you, here you can't do beyond 120. Yeah, you can't do beyond 120. You can go at 200. But then you'll be arrested because it's possible to go at 200 on that kind of a road. We don't have that kind of a road in Kenya. It's not there. It's not there. Then even in cities, the roads are so good that you can also go at quite a top speed. They're good. And that's why they restrict you. You can't go beyond 60 here because you can go at 80, you can go at 100. But for us, where we're ever caught up in traffic jams, like technology, what does it do? I know what it does. It will extract rents from motorists. Yeah, because I can see even there are fines for, I don't know, jumping a robot or something, which is a traffic. We don't have traffic lights. We don't have them. But there's a fine here for traffic lights. We have police officers at intersections in Kenya. We don't have traffic light, but there is there. So it means these are things that are borrowed from a particular jurisdiction. It's like CBC. Many things that we have completely not in tune with our society, our level of development. Like everything is here, but if you look at it, these fines, this would make sense in a country that has got first-class infrastructure. But even in countries with first-class infrastructure, there are not so many numerous fines like this. Like if your license plate is improperly or something, installed or missing, incorrectly fixed, what is that? What does that even mean? Do you know why somebody's license plate may be maybe sitting in a way that you think is not properly installed. Like, it's just a money minting.
Did we lose Western? Did we lose Western, Obed? Obed?
I think we probably did.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow Western's argument, Obed, and allow me to just also indulge you. I honestly think, number one, we do have speed limits across the country. Let's be clear on that. And there are
Not
zones.
necessarily.
There are
I would
zones
like-
that are marked, and as a driver, you're obliged to respect the speed limit of that specific area you're driving in. That is also the backdrop through which NTSA is able to put up the instant fines management system, because of, number one, these roads have been clearly labeled what has to be where. But now talk about the issue of the clarity and the labeling. For example, there are roads you're not supposed to turn right. And there was this suspicious turn. If you're driving on, just before you join, is it Kenyatta Avenue? No, just before you join Haile Selassie Avenue. Did we lose our X session? I think we did. And apologies for that. We'll be able to come back in a few. For those of you who are joining, once again, this stuff happens quite often. Allow us to be able to reset, and then once we come back, we'll continue with that conversation. Once again, this is the bigger picture, and we are discussing the issue of the instant fine management system. What do you think about it? Let us know as we try to get back to the X session.
The Bigger Picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@cotefm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road, or call us on 0768 400 800, or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Welcome once again to the conversation, and we are back live on the X session. If you had lost us, we apologize. Sometimes this stuff happen, and it can be very, very difficult to know just what went wrong. I'm trying to get back Obed on the line as we try to have this conversation this evening. And before we went offline, I was talking about the issue of the labeling of our roads and how you're able to tell this and that place you're supposed to drive this and that speed limit. Maybe if you are joining us in the chat, I would like to understand what has been your biggest struggle while driving on our Kenyan roads. The question is, what has been your biggest struggle while driving on our Kenyan roads? Allow me to engage you, and then we can be able to proceed with that conversation. I also see maybe we might be having a lot of glitches on the line, and that's why we lost our X session. We do apologize for all of you who were not able to understand what happened. Sometimes things happen against our wish, and I don't know who is trying to mute us, but let's find out if Obed is able to hear me once again. Obed, if you can confirm that you can hear me. Obed? Yeah, Looks like, again, I'm struggling to get Obed back on the line. Let's just see. Obed? What's happening here? All right. Obed, can you confirm you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I have feedback coming from your end. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, all right. So let's just be able to reset that, and then we're able to come back to all of you. Obed, go ahead if you can hear me. Yes, Obed, now I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Kindly proceed. Now I can hear you.
Thank you. So, I think you're being generous and also probably being optimistic. The truth is that our roads are not well labeled. And part of the problem that we have, even in your own, there's a contribution you made and you talked about how many accidents we've had and or fatalities that we have from road accidents. They're quite high. Part of the reason is our roads are very bad and they're poorly lit. And the other thing is, in terms of clarity on what speed should be where, it's not there. And then let's be fair to each other. There are some places that they have done very well. A majority of the roads are very bad. And that's part of the reason why night travel is actually just almost intentionally walking into a death trap. You've seen that problem happen when most of the accidents have happened at night, and terribly so. Even during the day, sometimes the fatalities we suffer is because you're not so clear what speed you should be on. The fact that police are hiding somewhere, Eli, and have a speed gun and tell you at this place, for instance, the time I've been arrested and I'm thinking, there's nowhere. The road is very open and clear, and I'm at 120 and I'm told I'm too fast. But there's nowhere to show that there's a speed limit I should go with of 100 or something. So, in all honesty, we can do better. We can do better. And I don't think in your generosity, you're being fair to the people that have suffered the brunt of bad roads, poor labels, and lack of clarity. And I think for me, on these, I'm with Western because some few places would do that. For instance, I think I've driven in a road somewhere in South Nyanza. Well done, lit, bumps, everything labeled correctly. And it was the first time I drove on that road, and I was very comfortable.
Obed, for information, we might lose you again.
I've seen that.
Yes,
I've seen that.
looks like our friends are overworking tonight. I might just lose the call on everyone that is joining us on the X session, but we'll try as much as possible.
I'd love to have Western continuous contribution because I think there was something was on to which was very nice.
Yes, unfortunately, my system is glitching and I'm unable to hold the call. We'll try and see what to do. In the meantime, if we lose you on that call, we'll just restart the session. So just try and rejoin once we are back live, and that will be within a few minutes of working as we try to address the issue of instant fine management system that is out by Ntsa. Again, Obed and team, kindly be patient as we try to resolve this X session. Probably the glitch is from the platform itself, and there's very little I can do from the moment. We tried to reset. There's been a lot of interference. So that said, if we lose the system, we'll be able to come back in a few. Obeds, proceed.
Yeah, so I would have, like I said, Eli, the clarity that we need to set up government and digital space is an assumption that they're going to cure a lot of problems, which hasn't happened. History is there. Look at Chief. It's really something I don't have words for it.
All right, and we lost the session, and we might not be able to continue with that call. For now, I will want us to proceed on to another session that will allow us to fix the erroneous issues we've been experiencing in the past few minutes. In the meantime, if you're joining me also from the chat section, I'd love to see what you have to say about the issue of roads in our country. What has been your biggest pain as a road user or as a driver? Is it the issue of road drivers misbehaving, or is it the aspect of you finding the roads not motorable? Because sometimes you try to drive and clearly the road is driving you. You are not driving the car, if you know what I'm trying to talk about. So let's find out what you think in the chat section, and definitely we'll have this conversation moving as we try to also bring back the X session. Unfortunately, we lost that session. We are trying to get back all the speakers from the previous conversation. That said, ladies and gentlemen, it is on Monday, and on Monday it's all about conversation right here on the bigger picture. Pardon me when you see me glancing at my devices. I'm just trying to get back the other users back online so that we are able to continue with the conversation. So you may want to engage me by simply chatting with me on the platform there. You can be doing that through we have TikTok that is live. We are also having the X broadcast that is still live. So don't feel like the session is out. We're just trying to get everyone back online in order for us to proceed. In the meantime, I'm told we will take a quick break in order to see how we are able to fix that anomaly. Good evening once again. This is The Bigger Picture.
The Bigger Picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@cotefm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road, or call us on 0768 400 800, or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are. You're listening to Court FM. Let the music play. The Bigger Picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@cotefm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Court FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road, or call us on 0768 400 800, or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are.
Once again. All right, once again, welcome back to the conversation, and clearly we've been able to reset. I hope now everything is fixed. as we try to manage the situation. Obeds, I know you can hear me now. We had to do the inevitable. Just give me 100% before we can proceed. Obeds, once again, good evening.
Ella, I can hear you.
Awesome. Mambo imekuwa magumu sana, but you guys are great. You didn't give up. So welcome back to the bigger picture. Clearly, it's a bigger picture. When you expect small things, big stuff happen. And for the benefit of those who are joining us, we are looking at the Ntsa Instant Fines Management System. The system is live and kicking. And if you are interested to know what is happening, you definitely want to stay in this call for us to be able to proceed and engage with you. Watu Wanduthi, as much as they save the day, they are very rogue. That's my pain point. That's according to Self. Thank you very much. For those of you who are wondering what Wanduthi ni akina nani, these are the guys that ride around in the name of dropping you from point A to B with Speedy Gonzales speed. For some of the challenges, mashimo unaweza anguka ndani na utoshe the reckless mirror drivers. That is according to Liz. Thank you very much, Liz, for your response to the question you are asking as we try to look at the issue of the instant fines management system by Ntsa. Obeds, I'm going to just go back to you. I hope you did not throw your train of thought away. Good evening.
There wasn't much value to add, Eli, but I think what I'm just trying to allude to is that there's a lot of work to be done yet in terms of having our roads signages very clear and well labeled. And the roads themselves, their quality is one thing. And that's part of the problem. There are places, Eli, if you drive at night, you don't know what's going to happen to you because you don't even know. You're almost driving blind. You drive by grace. And so when Weston was speaking, I think I was certainly in agreement, especially when he talks about speed limits. You don't know where to drive what speed at what speed. There some maybe if you live after you leave a major town or a town center, there's bits of that, but after that, like there's nothing. So I don't know how government honestly does it have the ecosystem, and I keep asking this question, or are they doing this because somebody has to get a tender? And I asked the conflict of interest between the police, who are currently the beneficiaries of, when you do a traffic offense, however minor, whether it's minor or major, mostly the police will find a way to tell you, we can talk. So how are they going to let this system work? And so, digitization, again, as I've told you, is a buzzword for government. It's an opportunity for government to misuse resources or steal. And there are so many examples, Eli. We had a Huduma number idea. We've had, a digital ID, which does not even look like a digital ID. And I talked about currently people cannot even renew their licenses, their digital licenses. You renew, you take a whole year, you still don't have it. Or some have even...
Why do you need it, Obed? Elevate my brains and my understanding on this. Why do you need that digital driving license? To look classy?
Not classy. Your government requires you to have it. Not me.
Well, I've never turned in my old one, and I'm still a very valid driver because I have to renew mine annually on the e-Citizen. What I don't like is the fact that they remove the 3-year,
Do you know you even need to have the...
Go ahead. Obed, you're muted.
What I'm saying is, do you know your government even requires that you need to have new number plates? Is it because has it worked efficiently?
Yes, it has, Obed. That's how they are able now to read your number plates and digitally, configure them in the system, Obed. What are you saying?
Not everyone has that. Everyone has that.
No, come on, Obed. There was a timeline to that. I think now you're spinning a story. My view.
Okay, Eli, let me put it to you this way.
Put it to me then.
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
There are people who drive using the old number plates.
Where do they drive?
Nothing has happened to them despite there being a deadline.
Can anyone check for me? When was the deadline to hand in the old
there was
number
a deadline.
There was, yes.
Was
there an extension?
People are driving around with all number plates.
Uh, Obeds, unless you can prove that to me, I think I see Western's hand is up. And this is not to me trying to push you over, Obeds. I'm just trying to be, the devil's advocate here. Western, your hand is up.
Eli, I think the way we do things looks normal until one gets to see how things are done elsewhere. Look, if you come up with what you call some new generation of ID or license plate, whatever it is, or driver's license, this is how people do in other jurisdictions. You bought your car, when the license plate's read in a particular way, that style of issuing license plates has changed. Now, it starts applying for those who are buying cars or engaging in transactions going forward, not you, who already has got a car with what you would call old license plate. You are not obliged to go and get a new license plate. For what? It's going forward. Like all laws, they can't apply retroactively. Well, they've come up with a new driver's license. When you will go to renew yours, then you'll transition to the new one. They don't give you a deadline. They know this is the deadline by which everybody else should have transitioned to the so-called new driver's license. Yours is still valid. You will use it. The day you're gonna go to renew or do whatever, so then you can transition to the new one. That is how it works, because it saves people a lot of unnecessary expenses. With us, when they transition to something else, whatever you had before, it's rendered irrelevant. Like, really? No, it does not work like that. So if there are people in Kenya whose cars still have got what you'd call old license plates, unless you have disposed of the car, even if you dispose it off, whoever gets the car could still drive it like that. But if you go and buy a new car, brand new car, then you get that new driver's license plate. That's what it works. So when you hear we saying this technology things and what first generation, second, whatever, these things are for minting money because of those kind of deadlines that don't make sense. Then what will they do with the bumps on the roads? What will they do with bumps? Kenya is the only country where you find a bump on a highway. Like, the road is a highway. That's what it is. It's a highway. Somebody has erected a bump on a highway. Who does that? Because you want to kill people. You want to kill people. So I know this is a freeway, this is a highway. Now, suddenly, and so many people in Kenya do get across bumps that they did not expect. Nothing warns you. So you want to kill motorists? You want to kill road users? Who told Kenyans that bumps are like the be-all and end-all of road safety? And even the bumps that they build, they construct, are just something else. Something else. A bump should be such that even if you don't see it, you should be able to run over it. And go.
Weston, on that one, I am with you 101%, the issue of bumps. And I'll give you a very short experience. I recently made a trip to my countryside, and what ordinarily will be, there are those names that were used back in the days, settlement schemes and what have you, and an ordinary village where you do have what we'll say the service road for an estate if it was in the capital. Do you know these guys are laying out a tarmac road, and this is a mixed-use settlement, predominantly for small-scale agriculture and family usage, But there's a mini highway going through this place, and all the boda guys that Stella was talking about now have a freeway that you're talking about. But then along the line, they will discover makosa ilitendeka. Now let's accelerate the building up of bumps. So when we talk about the safety and even bringing on board the issue of instant fines management system, I think the whole idea around our city planning, our road plannings, and even the engineering, we start questioning who exactly comes up with such projects, and do they foresee the end user of the system that they are putting in place? As you proceed, Weston, again, I see like we are dropping. Is that the case, Weston?
I think I can hear you clearly, unless there's a hitch. Even Mombasa Road, just look at Mombasa Road. That road, like who does that kind of construction, honestly? Look at Mombasa Road, that road underneath, the one.
Are you surprised that a lot of lives have been lost on that road?
Who does that? Like, who does that? Honestly, who does that? Like, you wonder, like, but this is a road. Yeah, it's a road. It's a main road. It's an artery. It's an artery. You know what was supposed to be done, Eli Obeds? They were to expand the road, Mombasa Road, expand it, make it a 3-lane each side kind of a road, 3 lanes on each side. Just expand the road. What they've done, they have not done anything, just complicated things. The road underneath is dangerous. And I don't think there's anything you can do about it. The driver must be careful. You just must be careful. Or if you're lucky, you know the road because you use it regularly. If you don't, that road could just claim your life. But it is supposed to be a symbol of modernity and modernization. Isn't it what we use to showcase, our ambition as far as infrastructure is concerned?
Correct.
What happened when the rains fell the other day? All the water from the elevated road came down. It comes down. Yep. The road underneath turns into some torrential river instantly because there's no drainage on the road up. All the water is supposed to flow to the one that is under. But we were told this. Perhaps some people have forgotten that the contract for the elevated road included sorting out the one underneath. That's what we were told.
Yeah.
No, people are complaining, but you're destroying the road underneath. What are you going to do? No, don't worry. The contractor will finish the elevated one. Afterwards, we'll fix the one underneath. The contractor finished the elevated one and packed up their bags and left with the underneath road. And even it's something else in the city, Eli Obed. So before you come up with the technology, please show me first-class road infrastructure, please. Show me first-class road infrastructure, please. Show me. If that is not there, you are hiding behind technology. To do what? To extract rents from motorists. That's what you want to do. That is what you want to do because it's survival. So Eli, I'm asking you, I've driven from Nairobi to Nakuru at 20 kilometers per hour because of congestion. There's a heavy traffic on the road. So from Nakuru going the other end, there's the traffic is lightening up. So at what speed do you expect me to go? And I've wasted so much time from Nairobi to Nakuru.
So then the question becomes, Weston, what then is the solution to these annoying traffics, to the annoying accidents that are taking lives, to what I will say the excess floodings on our major highways, including the road now you talk about beneath and above. And just to make you smile, please remember when the road beneath was flooding, the people on the road above told us we can use the road above for free until some hours. Just kukusaidia.
Yeah, because there's no shortcut. There is no shortcut. You can't be anything unless you modernize your infrastructure. There's no, you have thought that connects, let's say, these major towns. It should not be anything below 2 lanes on both sides. Ideally, there should be 3 lanes, standard. From Kakamega to Kisumu, 3 lanes. Kakamega to Eldoret, 3 lanes. Eldoret to Malaba, 3 lanes. Nairobi to Mombasa, 3 lanes, both sides, including an emergency lane for fire trucks, for ambulances, and those kind of vehicles. There's an extra. So, effectively, you're talking of 4 lanes, both sides of the road. That's massive. Massive. That's infrastructure we are talking. Now, where there's less population, the road that Obet is talking about in Ntsa, less traffic. Now, 2 lanes, both sides of the road. 2 lanes. And it's not like you divide them with some piece of chalk. These 4 lanes are divided by a piece of land in between. So that, because they're going very fast, if anybody was to lose control, there's no chance that you'll get into the oncoming traffic. There's a land in between that you can't get onto the other side. Or some very weird person, you think you can just, make some U-turns. You can't. You cannot. We don't have that infrastructure. And then at night, as Obed said, it is cheating death. Trying to drive at night in Kenya, you're cheating death. But how do you move goods and services, people, capital, if you can't move 24/7? How? Now you tell me, in the US, if you're to make it difficult for trucks to travel across the country, what would you do? Tell me how goods move in that country, so big as it is. It could be any other country, name it. How could they move? So that people have to wait until daybreak to start moving. What would you do? People have to move at night, during the day. But it must be safe. Moving during the day as well as moving at night, it must be safe. The roads must be lit so that even if my lights are not working, I still am seeing where I'm going. I can see the road clearly.
But please don't drive with the headlamps that are not functioning. It's a traffic offense. I know what you meant, but I'm just trying to remind our viewers and listeners not to do that. Unategemea taa za barabara. You'll be flagged in other countries and you might get into. But Weston, I get the concept of expansion of roads being one of the issues, especially to ensure traffic is flowing. But what I also, and that's why I referred to the issue earlier on about the village roads. Most of these roads are being made for motorists, not for pedestrians. That for me remains a big issue, because then the pedestrians end up using the motorist way. And what is that? It's a recipe for disaster. I would love to listen from, we still have Japonji and Real. Let's start with Real and then go to Japonji. Real, how are you doing? Good evening to you. Hello, Real, can you hear us? All right, let's cross over. Japonji, good evening to you. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, good evening, Eli. Can you hear me?
Yes, but your Bluetooth sets are too far from you.
No, actually, it's your space. It's been king us outside.
I know, right? We've had a lot of challenges tonight. Yeah. Are you by any chance on headsets?
Can you hear me clearly now?
Well, I can hear you from a distance, but I'm just trying to find out, are you on headsets by any chance?
Let's ask other speakers. Obed, can you hear me clearly?
Not very clearly. You sound like you're on head.
I mean, I was on, but all is good. Let me see if I can reconnect them.
Yes, because sometimes, what happens is the audio just fumbles and disappears into your backdrop if you're using some headsets, especially for the mic, if you receive calls. So to encourage a more audible session, try to use handset, if not wired headphones. That said, Real, do you want to speak to us? Do we proceed to the next speaker? If you cannot hear us, give us a thumbs down. If you can hear us, give us 100%. We are really running out of time. Anyway,
So,
Obeds, yeah.
Eli, this country has a knack for imitating. And, we talk about Singapore, when in actual sense, there's so much that needs to be done to get to Singapore closer to what they are. We want to change, we write things down, but we don't want to go through the pain to create those things. We are a dishonest bunch of people, the policy makers and the users of the policy. And I say this with a lot of confidence because you can see we have changed NHIF or removed it and came up with a system called SHIF or SHA. We've had a situation where government procurement is put on a system, but corruption is rampant. It doesn't solve the problem. So unless the people, anything that you do is as good as the people that handle it. If people are not genuine people, they'll find a way to infuse corruption into any system. So it's not solving a problem, it's just trying to waste money in the name of removing people, but still ending up with people who corrupt the system to achieve their own agenda. So I like the idea of the instant fines management system. But I think there's much more that we need to do, Eli, and I still stick to this, that create good roads, have roads that are properly done, have a proper drainage system, for instance, have cameras in places to ensure that you're able to see, register the cars, have data that is up to date. Then you can start to have a conversation. You cannot climb a tree from the top. It's impossible. It just doesn't make sense. Japan, you're back up here. I don't know what you have.
Obed, can you hear me now?
Should be okay. Eli, you're comfortable with that?
We can work with that. We can work with that. The only thing I wanted...
You can work with that.
Yes.
It's okay.
So, Japonji, Japonji,
yes.
As you come in, because we've been able to already look at a lot of issues, this system that is coming to ensure that people receive instant fines when they do road infractions, what is your view on the same? And number two, are you also of the opinion that really, as we sit today as a country, NTSA has not done a good job in combing and ensuring that the database of motor vehicle owners is not up to date? Because from where I sit, I don't think that is 100% correct. Of course, there are a lot of blanks in between when you have a car or a motorbike that has a registration number same as a Prado, and then you have a Prado that has a motor registration of a tinga ya kulima huko kwa Singapore. So those are the things that I think we still need to work on. But from where you sit, first of all, I would love to find out from all of you who are listening in, if you are a motor vehicle user or driver or owner, what is your experience with the NTSA systems? And for this matter, we are looking at the instant fines management system. Do you support it? Let us know in the chat section. Japonji.
Thank you, Obed. First and foremost, I think it's long overdue, the instant fine or flash. I will give you my perspective, mostly based on Dubai or UAE, if you like, because we have a real-time fine management system with a flash, such that if you surpass speed, we are always given a caution of 19. For example, if the road is marked 80, you can actually go up to 99. If you go past 100, then you get fined. So we always have that allowance. I think also in US and other areas. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Obet, I would like to discuss this more based on the data, so that we can make we can discuss this point of radar, we call radar or flash or cameras, instant cameras, based on the data available. What is the goal? What is the objective of putting these cameras, on the road? Is it to prevent accidents? Is it to to punish motorists? Because I don't get it, because someone was complaining that there are some roads that are like they're put 80, and actually you can't even go to 81. And when it's 80, it's as slow as snail, while the road is clear, no traffic and all that. So that's why I'm asking, what is the purpose? Do they have data to prove that most of the accidents are caused by overspeeding in certain areas? So when they put these cameras, for instance, in Dubai, they put them at strategic places whereby they know either the road is there's an intersection or there has been accidents before. They put them based on data. They don't just put them. So I think in Kenya they were just putting them maybe to punish motorists, or this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out, or to sound woke. Because Obeds, I think for you to put this topic also, I'm sure you have a little bit of background data which you can present to us. Like for example, in 2025, we had these deaths on the road, and 20% were caused by maybe redundant vehicles, obsolete vehicles. Because what happens, for example, where I live in Dubai, the most important thing is not even the fine, is the vehicle roadworthiness. You have to go take your vehicle through the road test. That's why if you come to places like Dubai, we don't have plates to do with here, like this is model. No. The plates, you can buy any plates, you can put to any car. Any car doesn't have to be like the latest plate with the year. No, and they renew. If the car is like forfeited, or the car is gone, for like you want to do away with the car, that plate can still be used in another vehicle. You just need to change the details. The other thing I heard you talking about was this thing about the was it the license digital plates? Yeah. See, this smart driving license is harder to forge, and it's also is very fast for verification by police because it's real time. And also, if you go back to the I don't know how the Kenyan system works. I've just heard about it like a few hours ago. Is it instant and real time? Because the one we have in Dubai, if you overspeed, you get the SMS instantly, and there's an app where you can pay. So you are given a period until when you can renew your vehicle. So when you are going to renew your vehicle, which means checking the vehicle test. So when you're going to check to pay for your vehicle testing, that's when you pay all the fines. They can accumulate even to a year. So there's nothing like 50,000, 20,000. They will come and take. No, by the time you are going to register your car, renew your car, check the roadworthiness, that's when now you pay all the fines. Sometimes they give discounts, like in Ramadan, they'll say, oh, if you pay your fines, in month of Ramadan, you get 50% of something like that, And this is controlled by the federal government, So I was expecting Kenya, because we came up with M-Pesa, which is one of the unique products in the world. But as someone was saying in this space, that now we are trying to copy other countries for these cameras, for that fear of missing out. We are not doing it as a unique product, and that is always the problem with Kenyans. And then when we bring it to Kenya, it might not work. I wish we came up with something for us, something that works for us, or we try to customize it so it only works for us based on our roads, based on our culture and how we move around, Otherwise, it might never work the way I see. So I think that is my 2 cents for now. And back to you, Obed. Thanks.
Well, before I just allow Obeds, just a second, because there's a response I'm receiving here. And by the way, we are streaming these on both our platforms, so we are also live on TikTok. If you love to speak to us, just request the mic. We'll give you the opportunity to speak. Now, I know I asked about the issue of, and that's why also Western was asking, what is the intended purpose of this whole thing? Let's be honest as Kenyans. Are we indisciplined drivers? Because traffic fines generally are there to inculcate discipline in bad behavior driving. That's the truth. Irrespective of preventing accidents or other issues, the first thing they are trying to address is road indiscipline. Because a lot of these infractions happen because of road indiscipline. A lot of us have jumped the red light because the police was not watching. A lot of us are speeding because the speed gun guys are not waiting somewhere. A lot of us will drive with our feet on the wheel because for them it's being stylish and they want to show off. So what do fines do? They actually put some sense of discipline in the driver because there's instant what? Consequence to your bad behavior while driving or using the road, public road for that matter. Yes, go ahead.
Again, I said you're being too generous today. This country wants to probably impose like what Ntsa is saying, and I'm going to allow Weston because I'm not going to talk for long. We're talking about instant fines. The first people who offend traffic rules, the first people who are involved in traffic infractions are people who are members of parliament and people who are considered to be top leadership. Why? They drive on the wrong side of the road and they push you guys off the road and it doesn't matter. How are they going to punish such people?
Can you read that letter, that publication? Because I think you have the answer to your question. But let's read it.
Read it because
let me read it because you don't want to. Let me read it.
Eli, listen. You need to allow Weston to speak.
I will. Don't worry.
Put it on the jumbotron so that people can read. The reality in this country is we speak loftily, but we deliver hell, and in a very bad way. There are so many promises that have been made about Kenya being a better country. And I keep giving examples of health was supposed to be digitized and solve the problem that NHIF had of corruption. Yep. Have we done that? We haven't. Is it any better today? I don't think it is. So it's unfair for us to be pretentious thinking that by bringing in digital sense, education, for instance, is the namest thing. How many ghost students do we have? How many ghost schools are we paying for capitation? It is not about digital stuff. It's about the kind of people we are. So we can belabor this point. The question should be, what's the intention? And until we answer that question, I don't think we are solving the problem. But we also have to look at ourselves inwardly, Eli, and admit that as a people, we have a problem. And that's where it all begins. What do we want for this country? You can find people, and Eli will tell you, anywhere there are many people are bound to break rules. They will do that. And that's part of it's trying to address. And fairly so. But the assumption would be that everybody wants to drive and drive correctly. So if you make any mistake, either intentionally or unintentionally, then you get reminded that this is how to do it. So without belaboring the point, I think, let me allow Weston to speak, or maybe you have a question for him. But
actually, I don't have a question for him. I just wanted to clear on the issue of why this is a game changer, not just for drivers, but also the general public discipline, especially for those of you who have cars. And I also have a comment here which says Kenyan drivers are generally indisciplined and they know that with this, they'll be able to mint and raise a lot of money. I agree. And for me, if they target your pocket, then I think you become more cautious. I think. Number two, we are addressing the issue of drivers, but forgetting that there is the aspect of the road itself. So I would like for all of you who are also joining in to be able to give us your perspective in the matter of instant fines management system. What do you think? And last but not least, Reed had asked, let me just read the question here. Today I'm doing too much moderation, Obeds, allow me. Please advise, what if the vehicle is still with a bank or SACCO cause of a loan? Who receives the notification? Good
That's the
question.
driver.
Okay, real from knowledge-based information, the time of driving is the driver that causes the infraction that actually ends up paying the fine. However, the individual that owns the vehicle receives the notification because the registration is under their name. All right? Upon them receiving that notification, it is incumbent of them to present this notification to you, the driver, given time T on date A that you are driving on road B, you will have to pay. And even if you were to run away, it is now the duty of the car owner to pay, which I think some of you mtanyimwa magari. Kwanzia leo Obeds, gari yangu sipeane. Western.
Well, I think, yeah, Kenyan roads are amongst the unsafest in the world. You can say because of the bad state of the roads, but it's also because of the culture of ill discipline. It's not matatus. It's not the border youth. By and large, motorists on Kenyan roads are ill-disciplined. And it's always said, if you observe the behavior of motorists in a particular country, it's a window into how the public culture in that country is. It's a window. How patient they are, the recognition that this is a shared space. We are not in a rally race, those kind of things. That's how they behave in other aspects of their lives. So there's a lot of impatience on Kenyan road. You just see somebody you'll think now, this person here really, from the kind of car this person is driving, must be really somebody polished. But they're just throwing rubbish through the window onto the road. You see it, just some rubbish from some car, and it falls on the road. Like, you see a lot of things that you wouldn't see ordinarily in another given society. Hence, the accidents, that we experience time and again. Like, what is that person trying to do? You want to overtake? Like, where are you going? You can't see that, but you see that a lot. Eli Obed, this is it. Punishment is for deterrence. But punishment is counterproductive, or it doesn't amount to much when there's a pervasive culture of ill discipline, or what you would call impunity. It doesn't help much because it's aimed at targeting outliers. So on this road, there's somebody who will want to cruise at 200 kilometers an hour, and this is a 120. That's an outlier. Another person should be punished, or the license should be revoked. You don't expect every other motorist to drive like that. Or you don't expect every other motorist to drive under the influence. You don't. If that is the case, then it's not the roads, it's the culture in the society. It's not the road. The road is not the problem. So by penalizing motorists, you're not actually achieving much. Those who can pay will pay. And those who can find people within the government agents in charge to wipe off those fines will also get people to do that. It doesn't mean that if technology is penalizing people, people cannot go around it. They can go around it. So you ask yourself why, like, for instance, the Japanese kids, they keep their schools clean. They don't rely on workers. They keep their schools clean. At some point, I think was it the last World Cup or some point, the Japanese players, were they supporters? they went and cleaned the stands. They cleaned the stands before they left the stadium. Now, that, it looks extreme, but if in a society people appreciate the fact that we share facilities, and I've used this facility, I must leave it clean, there will be no need to punish people. But if you punish people without factoring in the culture in your society, behaviorally, you will just extract money from people and nothing is going to change. You will not change their behavior. So if you're a president of Kenya or somebody, if there are things that are disturbing you, find out how you can change the culture of your society, because only you can do it, depending on how those people are socialized or re-socialized in various institutions, and the state is pervasive. Otherwise, the people you see on the road, these are people who at some point they may have banned a school under protest, or this may be university students who destroy furniture at school, because it's only in Kenya where you see public facilities are vandalized. For some reason, you wonder, like, this is a university, this is a lecture hall. So who is this was moving around, removing upholstery from chairs and seats? Who was doing it? They've just vandalized the seats, removed everything, and they just... Now, that is the person you'll find on the road later, after they graduate. And I can guarantee you the behavior will not have changed. They will not... These kids in Kenya who write graffiti on the walls of buildings, you don't find that in many societies, eh? Kids are just, just writing graffiti on, on buildings and walls. No. In other places, they don't do it because they know it's bad manners. Mm-hmm. You're making it expensive to maintain that wall.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that. That's not your daddy's wall. Leave it clean. But we do it even on people's cars. Kids in Kenya will just come with wires and write things on them. They do it. So the point I'm making is that we do badly on self-discipline as a society. We do badly on self-discipline. And that is manifested in many other aspects. In this case, on our roads. Why should I compete with you for space on the road? Why should I? Oh, you want to pass? You can pass. I will let you go. Or you can signal me, you let me go. But you find men, women, all sorts of people are competing for the same space. So you wonder now, you are not going to move, all of you. Yeah. This space can only accommodate so many cars. No, everybody's squeezing there. You've seen that. So what are you doing? The other thing is the driver's license. I don't know why it's 3 years. What is the logic behind it taking 3 years? Why don't they make it 5 years? And when you make it 5 years... I don't know
where you read the 3 years. It was before 3 years. You had two options. There was 1 year and 3 years. So this is according to your account balance. They made it 1 year. So I'm thinking every year I forget how to drive and I need to go back to school. In other jurisdictions, like you say, I have a 10 years driving license. 10 years. In fact, it's almost expiring in a few months. But the point here is, I know there have been a lot of changes in, just like football, some things change. But I think the whole aspect of driving, it's also subject to the highway code, things that are changing, and including the roads themselves. I don't know if our roads have been changing, except the fact that they keep adding road bumps. Unafika, unasikia, pap, kwa umegonga gari.
No, you see, the thing they'll be interested in is your sight. Because the more you drive, the more you get better at what you're doing. Driving is not from a driving school, it's from driving. So if you've been driving for the past 5, 10, 15 years, surely, the only thing they'll be interested in is your sight. Is your sight still okay? If you got your driver's license without any need for glasses, do you still need? But they can't retest you. You've been driving consistently. That's why this 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, it doesn't make sense. And when give it out for 5 or 10 years, what it means is that that thing effectively becomes an ID. It's an ID. So if you go into a public office where they're asking for an ID, they say, no, your ID or your driver's license will work. The system can recognize you by use of a driver's license or your national ID, if that country has a national ID. That's what it is. Like, you save people a lot of trouble. Like, I don't know, we borrow things from other jurisdictions. I don't know what we borrow, but there's some very progressive things that, for some bizarre reasons, government people don't want them. That one they can explain. They don't want them. Like, a passport should be for travel. You are getting out of the country, go look for your passport. Within Kenya, that thing, keep it in your cabinet or whichever. You don't rock up with it in a bank, or you want to vote. You want to vote, come with your ID or come with your driver's license, not your passport. Your passport is for you identification out of the country.
The passport,
that's what it is.
We use it for M-Pesa withdrawals. Why are you like this, Western?
You know why? Because, again, systems. There's a reason why people do certain things, and when you look at them, you realize, you can see the logic. So, in a country, they can tell in their system, people who have got passports are foreigners. That's how they tell. People are not foreigners, they've got IDs or whichever they use for identification. They tell immediately. Anyone who is using a passport is a foreigner. But in your country, if everybody can use anything and anything, like, it becomes difficult really to ascertain how do you clean that system when it has got all sorts of documents. How do you clean it up? It's for orderliness. That's why they are deliberate like that. Look, your passport is for travel. Once you are done, you keep it. If you want to do any transaction within the country, come with your ID or come with your driver's license. We'll do transaction with you, period. But with us, anything and everything goes except the driver's license, which most Kenyans have. Can you imagine, Obets and Eli? Most Kenyans have driver's licenses than passports. But for some bizarre reason, a passport is used just like an ID than a driver's license. Can you see how bizarre that is? Isn't that bizarre? It's bizarre. It's just because, yeah, it is seen to be a prestigious document. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I don't. And then, Eli, Obets, have you ever realized that since independence, even with the current generation of license plates, for some reason, that license plate at the back of the car, that thing, it doesn't fit in many cars. I have never understood why, like, nobody has realized that. That license plate at the back, it looks awfully on some cars because it's more like
have to make them. They're in prison. They don't see the cars all the time. So the dimensions they have is what they're using.
Well, but they're given instructions. Isn't there anybody from whichever who gives them instructions on what to do, how to make the thing? Like, that thing looks like more like a square, but that thing is supposed to be rectangular. Like no car anywhere in the world. Do you find that part at the back? Well, some few cars, but majority of the vehicles, where you have to attach that license plate, is not square, like it's usually rectangular for that thing to fit in. But I think since independence to date, that thing has always looked like that. And you look at it like aesthetics. Aesthetics. You see, before this license plate,
we have to look different. We have to look different. Why are you insisting? I mean, if you go to California, you'll see California plate. When you come to Kenya, you know you are in Kenya by seeing that. Anyway, I would like for us to start concluding.
Eli, before this current generation of license plates, do you know that we were, I think, globally a country with the worst license plates, the most awful looking? I can tell you globally, before this, the ones that are being used now, Kenya's license plates were the worst. the most awful looking. Even South Sudan, that just got independent the other day, their license plates were looking better than ours. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, we have no sense of aesthetics. We don't. Like, well, but that is it. I'm saying, Eli Obets, let's focus on basic things. Just like, just love things that look nice, great.
Now,
And then we'll
you can have a
proceed from
nice
there.
you can have a nice plate, but if you're driving carelessly, all these ni vanity, because you end up making unnecessary accidents.
No, but you see, aesthetics is also about how roads are constructed, Eli. Aesthetics is beauty. It's about how you beautifully design structures, roads, everything. Aesthetics is big in philosophy. It's a big branch of philosophy. So it's not a joke. Aesthetics, just the beauty of things. It's also connected to safety. Yes. People will tell you how a Mercedes-Benz car looks. That is also connected to how safe that car is. The design of the car. It's not just how you look at it from the outside. The mechanics of the car, they will tell you. In the event of anything, unless you are an extreme, that car gives you a chance. Isn't that what it is? Beauty is not a joke. It's connected to safety. Honestly. So if you find a fundi who has no sense of beauty, well, please don't enlist them to do you a building. It's going to collapse on you. If you find a mechanic who has no sense of beauty, don't enlist them to fix your car. You'll be in problems. They must appreciate aesthetics first and foremost. Then they'll get the work done.
All right. Aesthetics, and I hope Obed's yours is beautiful. Is it? Is yours beautiful? Because if you
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, bro.
it's the beer holder. It's the beer holder. We have 9 minutes to call it a night. We have a Mariba who is joining us, and quite an interesting take in terms of what is and what should not be. Great to see all of you who are tuned in tonight as we try to have a conversation on the instant fines management system. Quite a lot has already been discussed, and we're trying to just wrap up. So, Omariba, how are you doing, sir? Good evening. Omariba, if you can hear me, good evening to you. I guess that's a call to know, Obeds. Maybe
Yep.
as we try to wrap up, Obeds, I think one of the biggest takeaway I have from this conversation is the aspect of having our groundwork done. And that, for me, it's important because then it will be useless if we have so many instant fine coming in or SMSs, and there's still an individual who can come and overwrite that. Unless, in reality, the infraction was not an infraction in the first place. Because it happens whereby there's system error. And that day, everyone is receiving SMSs of driving maybe beyond this and that speed limit. Maybe that's something you have to check. But also fundamentally, I am more concerned about the conditions of our roads. As much as drivers' discipline is important, it's important to understand the roads we are driving on. Because most of our roads, and we are talking about the A1 roads, you'll find they are supposed to be bump-free and traffic flowing at a specific speed limit, in our case 80 or 110 depending with the superhighway. But the normal highway, we do it at 80 for normal cars. Is it 80 or 120? But then if you have to drive every 10 minutes, you're braking to drive at 50, there is a problem. And why? Our town centers are connected to the highway. You do not exit the highway to go to the market center. The market center is actually in the highway because the roads are not designed for anything else but vehicles. And then you realize, in fact, we can have business here. Mtu wa chuma anaanzisha hapo biashara. If you're coming from Emali, you'll meet my in-laws there from Cumberland, and they decide they want to make their mali ya kutengenezea tairi hapo. So, Obeds, if we were to objectively look at this issue of instant fines, the first okay that we'll have is it's a good way to instill drivers' discipline. Because one of the major contributors of accidents on our roads, to be honest, is the driver discipline. Either from the fact that you are tired, or most of them have been having and running away from alcohol blows. So you are running away from alcohol blow and you're going to make an accident. The other aspect is actually the road itself and just the mechanism around the aspect of, quote in quotes, punishing traffic offenders. A lot of us get away because we know we can bribe a police officer or we can bribe that one that is manning the system at the point. Obeds, what then should be our call to action?
My take is we need to stop fetishizing technology as if it will solve every possible problem that we have in the country or as a people. We have a responsibility first to be accountable people. We want responsible government and people who know what they're doing for us. But we first must discipline ourselves. But at the same time, the idea of people coming up suggestions without proper structures to support the solutions they're offering is nonsensical and is a tantamount to wasting resources, which is what we tend to do often, or line people's pockets. And when people have done things in the name of public good, most of the time, they've ended up wasting a lot of resources and we end up not getting exactly what we're looking for. Examples are bound, and I think it is becoming too commonplace that we Kenyans allow such behavior to continue in the name of they're trying to do well for the public. I don't think it's been well intended. And even these that we're talking about, the instant fines management system, Eli, I promise you, 3 months, 6 months down the line, you'll hear a story behind it about procurement. Somebody did what they did, and before you know it, it's not functioning, and it's a problem. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I think I'll be proven right as time goes by. We need to do much more. Systems cannot change corrupt people if they're not willing to change. If people are good people, you don't probably even need some systems around. Everything can be done out of consent and people knowing they can do. But because human beings are what they are, we probably have to do that. But then again, any system is as good as its people. Nothing more, nothing less.
All right. I hear you, Obeds, and quite a lot to take home. Any system is as good as its people. Final remarks, Weston? I give you a minute.
Well, Eli, there are far too many state-owned entities on Kenyan roads. Kenya National Highways Authority, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, rural. Look, the only distinction when it comes to roads in Kenya should be the size, how wide are the roads, but the quality should be the same. Should be the same. But for some bizarre reason, the way these parastatals are set up, the thinking road should be of higher quality, but that ratchets up the cost of maintaining roads. So why can they centralize these things, just collapse it into one? Why do they split it into so many entities like that, just on the roads? Why? But then it's a colonial mentality where you think a road in an urban area, Kenya Urban Roads Authority, should not be the same standard as a road in a rural area, Kenya Rural Roads Authority. Like the other day, Otienda Molo said there's a road in his constituency. Some very bizarre thing. So one of these entities has done the road, I don't know, and reached somewhere and left it there. So from that point to the other side, that road is supposed to be done by, I don't know, some rural. Like, who does that? How bizarre is it? How bizarre is that? So the road has been tarmacked from one point to another. The person stopped there. It should be one of these entities. Should be Kenya Urban Roads. And then says, from there going the other end, that's not my part. Why don't you just collapse these things into one? for efficiency and standardization of roads. Because class A, class B, class whatever, I would imagine it's about the volume of traffic you expect on the road. So this is an international highway. Okay, volume. But the quality of that road, the way it has been constructed, the tarring of the road should be on par with the road in some rural part of Kenya. That's the thinking, if you're to ask me. But go to rural Kenya, the roads, the way they are done. They take some soil, place it there, and then after soil, they take tar, they put it on top. The rains come and wash out everything. These people come back. Like, we can't be doing things like those, eh? We can't. And then, Eli, I think we must get modern infrastructure. Anybody who's telling you that they don't need infrastructure, we don't need infrastructure, they're lying to you. You cannot have freedom without infrastructure. If it takes you many hours from Nairobi to your home, or if you're praying so much that you arrive safely, you're not so sure. You're not free. Free infrastructure frees people. So in some countries, there's a lot of road carnage because roads are good. With us, there is road carnage because roads are bad. Because our roads are bad. I yield, Eli. I yield.
All right. That has been, of course, the bigger picture as we come to the end. Thank you very much for tuning in. We continue with the rest of the programming. For those of you who still want to hang out, you can join me on www.kotfm.co.ke for the after hours on the bigger picture right here on Kot FM. You can also continue watching live on our X broadcast courtesy of Mizani 254. On behalf of Obed Zoriku, all the speakers and listeners that made this possible, have yourselves a great Tuesday ahead. And remember, mjifunze kuswim because it might just save your life. Kwa sababu kuna vitu haiwork. Good night.
Bigger Picture with Obet Oriku and Likuyani Eli. For more information, visit www.mizani254.org. Mizani 254, where the scales of balance are restored and meaningful conversations thrive. To advertise with us, reach us via the email marketing@kotfm.co.ke or call us on 0714 308 277. Kot FM. Let the music play. Welcome to NK Home Care Services, where quality healthcare meets the comfort of your home. We offer professional nursing care, caregiver support, mental and neonatal services, physiotherapy, post-surgery care, palliative care, and ambulance services, all tailored to your needs. Our mission is to empower you or your loved ones to live with dignity and independence. With compassion, respect, and professionalism, we're here to support your journey to a better health. Visit us today at 54 Real Estate off Mombasa Road or call us on 0768 400 800 or find us online at www.fifthgenerationaloutsourcing.com. NK Home Care Services, caring for you wherever you are. Kot FM. Let the music play. Kot FM. Let the music play.
I dream of a sky where the lights never die down. I'm awake in my sleep.